Alright guys, so this is my updated Twixtor slash timer map tutorial. I'm going to be showing one new method and then an updated version on my old Twixtor tutorial. If you guys have any questions or need any plugins, feel free to comment them and or join my Discord server. It will probably be in the pinned comment, and you can add me. My user should be on screen right now. So let's just get into it. So basically, you want to, in anime clips, there's things called dead frames, and dead frames are basically when there's like the same frame more than once. As you can see between these two right here, this would be considered a dead frame pretty much. So Twixtor is basically like a plugin that helps, that like it basically uses interpolation, which is having two values and it predicts what happens in the middle of them pretty much. So basically what we're going to do is we're going to cut all the dead frames out. So to cut dead frames out, you just go frame by frame. Anytime you see a movement of your main object or main subject or whatever you're trying to time remap, you want to cut. So obviously you see changes, and we can just, you know, we can leave that one. We basically just go frame by frame and cut it just like that. So you basically, every single time you see a new frame, cut, and if you don't see a new frame, don't cut, pretty much. So now you want to select the bottom frame and hold shift on your keyboard and then click the top one, drag them all to the left, and then you want to right click and go to keyframe assistant and put sequence layers and pre-comp it with Control Shift C, and then boom. Once you've pre-comped it, there's basically two methods we can use now in order to time remap. So we can either use interpolation or we can use Twixtor. First, I'm going to showcase Twixtor just so you guys, just because that one's a little less, like, it's easier to explain pretty much. So you basically just want to copy all my settings. This input frame rate, you want to change this to whatever FPS you edit in. In my case, I edit in 18 FPS, so I'm changing mine to 18. You can use DNN Model 1 or Precise Optical Flow. DNN does work better, but I think it does take like a little toll on your device, meaning like it takes longer to load sometimes. Image prep, you want to go to contrast slash edge enhance, and then for timer map mode, you want to go to frame number, frame interpolation, motion weight blended, warping, inverse with smart blend, main background settings. You want to change this to 100. And you can change this back to DNN. Okay, so pretty much you want to click into your pre-comp and see how many layers you have, and these are your frames, because they're obviously only one frame long, so they're pretty much all your frames, so it doesn't matter. So since we have 17, when we scroll down we have 17, we want to subtract 1 from whatever we have in our pre-comp. So I just pressed U on my pre-comp so I can see my keyframes, and I'm going to keyframe the frame number at 0, and we're going to move this one over here and make the keyframe at 16. And then what we can do is basically graph it however you want. Doesn't really matter how you graph it. I mean, obviously it does matter, but like depending on what you want, you can graph it differently. So there's Twixtor. This is how it should look. And now I'm going to showcase how you can do it with interpolating with Uwu2X Pro now. So basically what you can do is you can control copy this, paste it, and then in our case we're just going to delete the Twixtor. So now that we have this clip all time remapped and everything, we can just, all like dead frames are gone, cut them out. We can just hit interpolate. And basically what interpolating does, in this case for Uwu2X Pro, it basically multiplies how many frames you have by however many you select. So you can go for the most, times 16. I just find it a little bit like redundant to go that high. You can also do 8. 8 also works, but I'd like to do 4 because it's fast and it usually gives me enough. So as you can see how long the clip got just from that. And you can see it is a little warpy, but every frame is movement pretty much, and that's pretty much what you want. So now what we can do is we can just trim it to this, And it's kind of up to you what you want to use. If you're more comfortable with using Twixtor, you can use that. And if you want to use time remapping on an actual clip, I'll show you how to do that right now. Basically what you do is hold Control Alt T on your clip, and you want to drag your last keyframe to the end right here. And for frame blending, you want to make sure it's toggled under this like little icon, and then you can pretty much like graph it the same way as you graphed your Twixtor. So obviously this isn't like the best results. It's kind of hard to tell the difference, but in this clip at least, it's up to you. You can also use, once you interpolate, you can use Twixtor too. I find that just both methods work in general. And yeah, so that's basically how you do it. And I'll show you guys, like, I'm gonna explain to you how you can also sync up like your clips to a beat. So I have like these two clips. These are the ones that I already time remapped and everything. And this is the audio I have, right? So I'll play the audio. So basically you can see obviously this clip is like on beat. So pretty much what I did was I made like a sharp looking graph where the beat drops. So then when the beat drops, it like the clip speeds up and follows this like motion. As for the graph for this one, it doesn't really matter because it's kind of a build up, but this is just kind of the graph I use. And yeah, so basically you just want to find your beat and you make a graph on it, or like you graph like your keyframes, you make it like a graph similar to this on a beat, and that's like pretty much it. That's how you sync your clips to a beat. I think that's about it for my tutorial. If you guys have any questions, feel free to comment them. Join the server, add me, whatever. And yeah.